Greetings, class. Welcome to Nursing 791. I wanted to take just a few minutes of your time to review the course timeline with you. Now, most of your materials are located underneath the Start Here and the Course Materials tab, and that is where this timeline can be found. When we look at the timeline, one of the first things that you'll want to do is to meet with your chair virtually. So as I mentioned in the welcome video, please do reach out to your chair to set up a time to meet with them that first week. When we look at the timeline, the second assignment that is due is the Chapter 2 draft. And we have a due date for this assignment as June 20th. Now, the Chapter 2 draft will be added to the Chapter 1 document, so you have a continuous paper. Of course, it will be started on a separate page, and it'll be titled Chapter 2. Now, your Chapter 2 draft will be submitted to your chair for review and grading based on the rubric, so please do take some time to review the rubric. After your chair reviews the paper and you make corrections based on the feedback from your chair, then you will submit to your second committee member. Once you make corrections based on their feedback, you will submit to your preceptor or your external stakeholder. It's important that you coordinate the reviews and that you allow at least 1 week or more for each individual on your team to review your draft document. Please note that points are designated on the final Chapter 2 rubric addressing effective coordination of the draft and review process. In 791, you will be submitting to the IRB. To prepare you to submit to the IRB, we will ask that you submit an IRB draft application and you submit all associated documents to the chair. We will ask that you use the template for the draft application as well as the informed consent. There is also a template for the debrief, and I will show you where those are located in just a few minutes. You will also be asked to submit any tools or surveys, as well as the permission to use the tool or survey if applicable. You will also be required to submit permission from the organization where you will be conducting the project. And so the individual who has authority to write that letter should be asked to complete that permission. There may be additional requirements, and you can consult your chair. We expect that you should be able to successfully obtain IRB approval by July 25th. So when you submit those draft documents, and those will only come to your chair, we'll make any corrections based on feedback, and then you can go ahead and apply for official IRB approval. And the designated due date for that, again, is July 25th. The DNP Advanced Scholarly Project, the Chapter 2 final copy is due July 25th. All corrections must be completed on the final submission, and IRB completion is also mandatory. You will be asked to complete a presentation as you did in Nursing 790, and there's a template for you to use for that presentation, and I can show you where that is, and that should occur on or before July 27th. On July 28th, Form A is due and should be uploaded into Brightspace, as well as the student and preceptor evaluations. I want to emphasize the importance of communication with your chair, which is crucial throughout this course. Let's go and move to the course home. And so if we click on the Start Here in Course Materials tab, so we're completing the orientation and the course review as we speak, the course timeline. Let's go ahead and pull up the course syllabus. All right, please do take some time to review the course description as well as the aggregate outcomes. Now, the aggregate outcomes are your program outcomes, the student learning outcomes relative to this course. Please do take some time to review the student expectations, as well as the McKendree University mission statement, the academic honesty, and the ADA policy. When we look at the evaluation methods, these are assignments that we did discuss when we looked at the timeline. Your Chapter 2 draft is worth 20 points. Your Chapter 2 final copy is worth 30 points. Your project overview presentation, 40 points. IRB submission, 10 points. Form A, the preceptor evaluation, and the verification of cumulative completion of 225 practicum hours must be completed successfully to pass the course. Please note, if the DNP student receives a score of 1 or 2 on any of the 15 criteria indicated on the preceptor evaluation, the DNP must formulate a remediation plan in collaboration with their DNP chair. But I do want to emphasize that we need to have verification of a cumulative completion of 225 practicum hours, excluding the literature review, certification, and transfer hours by the completion of 791. You should be familiar with the grading scale. There is no required textbook for this course. Of course, it will be important that you keep the APA manual. You will be using that regularly throughout this course. So let's go back to the Start Here and Course Materials tab. Please do take some time to look at the gold standard expectations. We've discussed the aggregate outcomes, which are the program outcomes, and the learning outcomes relative to this course. In the next section, we have your project resources. If you click on IRB Process and Tools, this is where you'll find all documents that you will need to complete the IRB draft that is due in the middle of June. So we do have the informed consent, a sample for you to look at. We also have the template. We have the debrief template, an example organizational approval letter, the University IRB checklist, which will help ensure that you have all documents completed that should be prior to submission. And we have the IRB application draft form that should be used. I do want to mention that the IRB is undergoing some changes right now. So I have included here the link to where you would typically submit to IRB once your draft has been reviewed and you have made any corrections based on feedback from your chair. However, this link to the IRB may change prior to your submission, and I will let you know if that is the case. But again, the IRB is undergoing some changes, so there may be a new or an updated link coming soon. All right. But we'll have that worked out for you prior to your submission. Okay. When we go back underneath the Start Here and Course Materials tab, I do want you to take some time to review the rubrics. There are rubrics for each assignment, including the Chapter 2 draft, the Chapter 2 final copy, as well as the presentation. Included here is also the DNP PowerPoint template, which you are being asked to use for your presentation. And then do take some time to review the DNP Advanced Nursing Project Guidelines, which you did receive this at a point earlier in your program, but just as a reminder, the DNP project team composition, what that should look like, the importance of communication, a review of the timeline, and what may be counted for practicum. Some information about IRB, and the oral presentation. All right. What we've included here are also headings that may be considered for Chapter 2. So when we look at Chapter 2 is the implementation. This section encompasses the step-by-step process and components, the who, what, where, how, and timeline for carrying out the project. This section includes identification of any participants, the key stakeholders, and must also include organizational and IRB approval. So we are working on Chapter 2 in 791. Of course, you'll want to update your references and then include any appendices. All right, so if we go back to the Start Here and Course Materials tab, we've went through each of those items. I have included links to the help desk as well as IT and the library. There are assignment links for each of your assignments. So if you click on the assignment links, you will see where you might upload the Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 draft, your IRB documents, etc. All right, so please do submit all assignments to the Assignments tab. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I would be happy to speak with you, and I know we are going to be speaking that first week. So again, please reach out early, and let's see if we can set up an appointment to speak on or before June 10th. All right, I look forward to working with you this term. Thank you.